Hi guys! So first of all, NASA Great Lakes, thank you for welcoming us and having us come out to your region to do competition school with you guys. So if you don't know what NASA is, I hope you go and figure that out. National Auto Sport Association. So we went out to do competition school so that we can compete with our cars within a class. So I'm really excited to share with you guys what competition school entails, what I loved about it, and what I think would be beneficial to you guys before you get started to go to comp school so that you can be better prepared. So let's jump into that. Let's talk preparation first. So in preparing, you need to know the CCR. So where can you find the CCR? You can find the CCR at NASA's website, but all you have to do is type in NASA CCR rules. It's really important that you know these rules inside and out. Yes, everything. It will be helpful to you, and as the regional director even talked about, these are your bullets. So he says this because he helped explain to us the fact that if you know these rules, you can use them to your advantage. You can drive to the best of your ability and follow the rules and use them for you. So make sure that you're following these guidelines and rules, whether it's getting your cars ready or where you need to be on the track. I'm not going to review these, but I do want to discuss too that it's also important that you look up your region's rules and regulations, because their rules and regulations on the hierarchy will trump that CCR, so you have to be familiar. So of course it's important to know the rules, like your regional rules and your CCR rules, but not just rules. You have to know what are the requirements for your car. Like when I went to try to do tech, I realized that my nets were expired. Not great, but need to be up to date for this. And I realized that the brace in my car needed to be replaced. I also wanted to make sure that I did have all the appropriate attire. So as girls, that can be a little challenging, but I do have some tips for you guys. I will include that in later videos, ladies. But I do have some really good tips for you for how to make sure that you have all of the clothing. But for everyone, just so you know, do check your ratings on your fire suits if you have one. If you are a certain rating higher, you don't have to have those undergarments that are fireproof. So just look at your gear, make sure it's up to date, check your helmet, check your Hans, check your fire suit, your shoes. I ended up having karting shoes, not fireproof. So all really important things to look at before you plan to race, because a lot of time competition school, we did not race following this weekend, but you will do a competition school for the full day. And I will tell you, it is a full day. And then what you'll end up doing is you'll race with those people the next 2 days. So that'll be really important for you guys. Get your prep. Now, something I wish I'd done a little bit more, and I did try to do it, but if possible, pick a track to go to school at that you're familiar with. We didn't have this opportunity. The way scheduling worked out, we wanted to get our competition school done. We ended up going to National Corvette Museum, which we have run before, but it's been a couple years and we were much newer in the sport. So we did watch a lot of videos and we got on the simulator. I know you guys are going to say it's not on iRacing. It's not, but there is some sort of like backhanded, there is a program you can put on there to get the track. I warn you, if you try to do it, I will try to find where we got that and put in the links below for you. If I forget, just comment and ask me. But if you go off the track in that, because it's not like an actual iRacing game, you will like disappear into the sky and have to restart your game. And I'm not joking on that, but good way to practice still. And great to watch the videos. But for me personally, I'm one of those feeling people. I don't truly understand the track and I can't fully take in the track and know what I'm doing until I get on that track. It's just too different with elevation changes, looking for differences in camber. I just need to be on a track to take it in. So if you can run an event out with HPD first, I highly recommend that before getting right out to competition school, so you're doing that sooner and you feel confident at the track. Otherwise, you're probably going to run a little slower than you normally would. I just kind of felt like I putted along a lot, just trying to make sure that I'm following the rules and really focusing on safety and not just giving it my all. They're not focused on your perfect line and your timing. That's not what they're looking for here. They're looking at situational awareness, your focus, your understanding of the CCR. These are all really important things that you're going to learn. So what does competition school entail? I'm sure each region's a little bit different, but the way we kind of did it was you started out pretty early. So you're going to do an all drivers meeting at about 7:45 in the morning. That may be different based on every school, may change that day. You just never know. And following that, we jumped right into class. So we did, I want to say about an hour's long class. And then you talk about an exercise you're going to do. So our first exercise, we ended up doing just side by side, which is awesome. We did side by side with drivers in cars that were similar to ours, and then do a lap side by side, switch, a lap side by side, switch. So this helps you kind of learn to be offline, since a lot of your passing will be offline when you are racing. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the exercises, what we learned from them, things like that, because that's why you're going to competition school. Just going to kind of give you the basic format here. So after we did that, we ended up coming back to class. Chit chat about what we worked on. We discussed those flags in pretty good detail because that is really important. Then we worked on another exercise, and this one was just passing with that same driver you were with before. Back to class, learning more, and I'm not going to discuss everything we learned again. You're talking about that CCR in full detail. It's also a great time to ask questions about anything you had. Before you even go to class, you're going to take at least one CCR test, if not two. They are open book, but you want to know this information. So after that, going back on track again. So this time we ended up doing passing, but with trios. That may vary. These exercises may vary for regions. They may vary for class. We actually kind of voted on what we wanted to do for our third exercise. And then we took a break for lunch. So after that, we ended up coming back to class again, talking a little more. And then at the end of the day, we did a mock race. So the mock race was with drivers that were not in class. We didn't do qualifying. It was just get to the grid. You're in whatever position you pulled up in. So that's not quite the same as you would do necessarily. The races that we've seen, we've watched the Thunder and Lightning NASA races, and those are normally by class. Sometimes you have a pace car for each class. Sometimes they have just one pace car, and then the leader for those class will function as the pace car. So it just kind of depends. Again, know your region, know what you're looking at, know the flags that they commonly use. We've been told that the red and yellow flag combination for an aborted start isn't always as common, but you do need to know about that. So on our mock race, and I do have a video for that as well, and you will notice I was, again, just focusing on staying safe, following the rules, and understanding the other drivers, being aware of everything going on, so that situational awareness, and just going through the track, since again, I'm not as familiar with this track, and enjoying being out there, interacting with the other drivers and just connecting with them. It was an awesome time. We did 2 rolling starts, and then we did 2, oh goodness gracious, here it goes, standing starts. So I'm not going to explain those, but you can see them in the video, and then we were green to go for a while. Our time on the track for that mock race ended up being a little longer than we expected, which is always awesome. I think the total time on my Track Addict video from leaving the paddock out to going into pit was like 45 minutes, so you can tell we got a lot of good track time as well. Our day actually ended up being done around like 6 o'clock, so you're looking at a really long day from about, I'd say, if you're working on your cars, you're checking your lug nuts, checking your oil, all that fun stuff for just getting the car ready for the day, somewhere about 6:30 to 6:30. So bring your snacks, bring your water. Hydration's important, and bring your cell phone chargers. I really like to keep track of my stuff on Track Addict, not just for time, but so they can go back and look. So get your camera set up and feel good in the car. Also, they do expect for you to wear full gear for everything. So if you're not used to this, I highly recommend getting used to this early if you can. And if you have a cool shirt system, make sure you go and get ice if it's going to be hot that day. That'll be really important if you're not used to that gear. But I hope these tips kind of help you guys out a little bit. Just have some sort of idea about what that competition school includes. And I love to hear your experiences. I'm super excited to get started. So let's race. Bye, guys.